If I had an extra $10,000 that I had set aside that I want to start getting to really work for me, the last thing I'm going to be doing is starting, some random online business that takes up a ton of my time, day trading, right, and blowing my account in a week, or trying to get into some like sketchy real estate deal. In today's video, I'm going to show you a cash flow and income focused approach that I've been using for around the last 7 years, and I believe can fit into even the busiest of lifestyles. And if you just drop a comment down below, you're going to get my full ebook on building out your stock market watch list completely free of charge. Just drop a comment down below on today's video. And while you're down there, I'd really appreciate you hitting that like button and that subscribe button. And of course, I hope you're having an absolutely God blessed day. And as always, guys, nothing on this channel is financial advice. Please speak to a financial advisor before making any financial decisions. But today, we're talking about a strategy that the reason I even started this channel was to spread more. All right. And it is the idea of investing in stocks that you love anyway, but getting paid just to say maybe you would buy them and getting paid just to say maybe you would sell them. It's kind of crazy when you think about, because when you think about options and stock markets and all trading, you think risk, you think, you think of Instagram, the guy that turns $1 into millions of dollars. That's not how I trade. This is not a get rich quick scheme by any means. This is an approach grounded on simplicity. This is an approach that I literally learned from Warren Buffett when he was doing this strategy on Coca-Cola in 1993. But let's talk about this, okay? So first and foremost, if we have $10,000, the last thing we want to do is go YOLO it all in on one stock. We want to diversify, okay? I'm going to show you if I had an extra 10,000 right now, right? Here's how I would kind of spread my risk. So let's talk about the first one that I'd be jumping into. Some of you are already going to kind of guess it, but one of my favorite stocks that I trade right now is SoFi. I'm a very big believer in SoFi. Just because I am doesn't mean you are, though, right? So you need to go make sure you find your own high conviction. I'm just showing you how I diversify my portfolio here if it was only $10,000, right? So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to go to the trade option section. Whether you're using Fidelity, Schwab, whatever platform you're using, you'll be able to go to your options chain, and it'll look something similar like this. Robinhood makes it very, very simple for us. However, there are a lot of leaky buckets by using Robinhood, but you will more on that later, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go away from buy. We are not options buyers. That is degeneracy. That is scary, right? We're selling a put, and this is us saying we're willing to buy 100 shares of SoFi, and we get to name our terms. If I'm a beginner just getting started, I'm not doing weeklies. I think doing weeklies is out of your mind. Your time is an option seller's best friend. So usually 30 days is a good sweet spot number to sell your options on when you're getting started. We don't need things to happen as option sellers, right? We just want massive spikes up or down, right? And you're going to see that here in a moment as we talk about the risks of this strategy, right? So all I'm saying here is on February 13th, I'm willing to buy 100 shares of SoFi. Every options contract that you do is equal to 100 shares. Those are the rules. But I get to name my price here. So for example, let's say I'm okay purchasing SoFi at $25. It's trading just at like $27 right now. But you know what? On February 13th, if it's trading at $25, I'm totally cool buying those 100 shares. Now, if I did this trade right here, I would collect about $105 of premium, a little bit more. And the reason I say a little bit more is there's something called a bid and ask spread that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And that is costing you money when you are doing this strategy. Now, look at this. The bid and ask. The bid is 105. The ask is 103. We want to usually shoot right around like that middle, right? So let's just assume we could get like 109 or 110 maybe, okay? So we'll just say 109 in this example. We'll collect $109 of premium. This premium, this is cash flow. This is income, right? So next thing I do is I put this into my cash secured put calculator, right? So I'm going to put 109 into my calculator. My collateral here, right, is going to take a chunk of that 10 grand, right? Because everything we do on this channel is cash covered. We don't use margin. I don't care how much you think it's working for you. I saw my dad lose everything getting margin called in 2008, and that's the last thing I'm ever going to put my family through, right? So we need to lock up $2,500 in case we have to buy 100 shares of SoFi at $25. 25 times 100 is 2,500. Very simple, right? Very simple, right? So this is what that trade specifically looks like. Our premium is $109. We divide the premium by the collateral, right? We're locking up $2,500 and we're getting a 4.36% return on our money in a 30 days to expiration. Not financial advice. Results vary. Obviously, these are just the premiums I'm seeing at the time you're recording this video. Yours will look 100% different. But let's talk about the risks, as this is a little bit more of a high risk play. Getting 4.36% on your money in a single month, I don't care what degenerate on YouTube you're watching that tells you that this is not risky. They are lying to you. This is a risky strategy. So what does this mean? Okay. Now, first and foremost, the first thing that can happen is, let's say on the 13th at close, SoFi's trading at 26, 27, anything above 25. Perfect, right? You're not buying the shares, right? Your $2,500 is no longer collateralized, and you get your money back to run the play again, to collect more premium. And now you're not starting with 2,500, right? You're starting with, $2,600, right? So you're getting that, because again, that premium, you're getting this up front. But the next thing that can happen, and this is the big risk, key part of video, right, is that, let's say on the 13th, SoFi is trading at 24, 23, 22, anything below 25. You are on the hook to buy your shares at $25. So there is a situation that could happen that you have to buy SoFi for a higher price than what it's currently trading for if it's trading at like $20 on the 13th. So this is why I stress, build your own watch list, build your high conviction stocks around this, or ETFs, because assignment, it does happen. I don't want to say it's infrequent. It depends on a lot of factors that I cover on the Ark Options Strategy workshop. And if you attend that Ark Options Strategy workshop, you'll also get my premium calculators here completely for free, as well as my full trade log template. So click that link. Make sure to attend that after you watch today's video. But this would be a trade that I would look at because I actually really like SoFi at the 25 price. Okay, and of course I like that return. But I understand going into it that is a higher risk play. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is I want to diversify into more pure Ark Option Strategy stocks. The Ark Option way primarily focuses on dividend paying stocks. Why? Because worst case scenario, let's say with SoFi, I do get assigned at 25, right? There's no dividend with SoFi, right? So that sucks, right? Especially when I'm running covered calls. Now, obviously the returns are usually outsized when we're now trying to sell our 100 shares and we get paid for that. More on that in a moment. But the next thing that I would do is I'm looking for a brand that owns a lot of brands. I love investing in companies that pay dividends and own a whole bunch of companies, right? That's how I like to invest, right? So one of the ones that right now is getting a bit beat up is Conagra Brands, right? Now, if we look past over the month, this has been on a slight downtrend here, some ups and downs, right? But if I look over, let's say the past year, I don't mind it, right? I don't mind where it's at. It's not moving too drastically. It had a bit of a dip here in January down to that 16 level. We're trading just 60 cents, a little less, 50 cents above that right now. So I'm like, okay, I don't mind it at this current price. It is a bit of a falling knife here for the last year, but it seems like we're kind of stabilizing this level, right? It's been in business for an insane amount of time, has an insane 8.39% dividend yield. Okay, so what's my plan? Worst case, if I get a sign, even though it's been getting beat up for the last year, down 36%, I do think there's some stability that we're going to see here at this level. Okay, could be a good opportunity. So I'm going to go to the trade options section. I'm going to go to sell a put. And then again, I'm going to do my best to get around that same expiration date. So I'm perfect. I got it, February 13th. Now, with a stock like this, usually you have to play close to the money, meaning that you have to be really close to the share price to make the premium worth your collateral. So for example, let's look at the 16s. The 16s right here, you can see that I'm collecting, look at this. So this is the point I was trying to make. The bid and ask spread, look how wide this is, 25 to 40. So we would, again, we want to go closer to that, let's just say $30 of premium that we collect here. Now go to my cash secured put calculator. I'll put $30 of premium here. I'm locking up $1,600, right? Because I'm saying I'm willing to buy for 16 a share, and I'm getting a return of 1.88%. Not bad. That's not a bad trade in my personal opinion. A little bit, not aggressive, that's for sure. Because for example, if we just do one strike above, right, the 16.5s, we lock up $50 more premium, right? But we're collecting, a decent amount more premium. So we're collecting more closer to, let's say, $65 of premium on this specific trade if we get filled between the bid and ask spread. So let's put in $65 of collateral here, and we're collecting $16.50. Now again, we're locking up $50 more, but take a look at that return. That is a that is insane, right? Almost a 4% return on a real boring stock like Conagra Brands, right? So that's a decision that I'll need to make in the moment to be like, hey, how badly do I want to get assigned here? Now, one way that you can kind of gauge your probability of assignment is by opening up these contracts, right? So if you open up this contract and look at this delta, you can see this is a 45 delta, basically a 50-50 shot, 45% chance that you're going to have to buy this stock, right? If you look at the 16s, 32 delta, only about a 30% chance that you're going to have to buy the stock, 70% chance that it expires worthless and you don't have to buy the stock, right? So you kind of have to weigh those benefits for yourself. For me personally, if I was just a beginner, I would go with this trade, right? Because I'm just about that 2% locked up for 30 days, right? I already have my more risky play up here, so I like it, right? And again, the way I judge risk isn't always just by delta. I judge risk by how much return I'm actually getting, right? When I see a return over 2.5%, I'm assuming that this is a more higher risk play, meaning that there's a higher chance of me actually being assigned. Now, how much collateral have we locked up so far of our $10,000 budget? We've locked up about $4,100. Now, the next thing I'm going to be looking for is another stock that has a nice dividend that fits into the Ark Options Strategy. Now, one at the time of me recording this that's getting a bit beat up. I like selling puts when stocks are getting beat up, is Verizon right now. So taking a look at Verizon here, we'll go to the Verizon options chain. And, the nice thing about if we show the chart here, just basic chart here, if we look at Verizon for the most part, it's really doesn't do much. I mean, yes, if we look over there, but it really doesn't. I mean, it was up in the 43s, 44s, and it kind of just has been in this bouncing around this 39 level, back up to 41. It's kind of just been playing around there for the past year, really. I mean, it's done nothing. If you held this stock for an entire year, it was trading at 38, let's just call it 40 last year, and it's trading at 39 right now. So it's just not, this is why I don't like buying and holding individual stocks. I like buying, holding in ETFs, because you did nothing happened. Literally nothing. You got nothing from just holding that stock. And also the dividend. You would have gotten dividends, I guess. But I'd rather do dividends and my covered call premiums, right? So I'm getting a nice almost 7% dividend here. But let's go over to our cash secured put side. We're going to sell a put, and let's see. What can we get for our expiration? We'll go out the same one. So we'll go out February 13th here as well. Now, knowing what we know, we're going to open up these contracts and see, hey, which one do we want to go after? The 38s, we're collecting a 32 delta, right? And the 39s, we're doing a 47 delta, so about a 50-50. So let's take a look at these 38s of what we're actually going to collect. Now, we're locking up a lot more collateral here on this play, right? 38 times 100, that's $3,800, right? So we are locking up $3,800. How much premium are we getting on the 38s? Between bid and ask, let's just say we'll get filled around $60 of premium on this end, right? So $60 of premium that we collect on this side, 1.58. Not worth it for me, in my opinion. Maybe worth it for you. Obviously, go talk to a financial advisor on you. For me, I would be more aggressive with this. Now, there's a whole slew of reasons why I would be very more aggressive with this because it's outside the scope of this video. But I know the technical setup on Verizon at the time of me recording this is really solid. Lower Bollinger Band, below its key moving averages, and it's a good setup. So I don't mind actually going at the 39s and collecting some more premium and assuming that I am going to get assigned. And I'm collecting just about $100 of premium, locking up $3,900. So I'm going to put $100 here. I'm locking up $3,900, a little bit more, and I'm getting about right where I usually like to be, between that 2 and 2.5% per month mark. And that's how I would allocate it. So now let's see how much collateral we have locked up. We have locked up $8,000. That's perfect, right? There's no reason to go stretch yourself and then find some random stock to go put your last $2,000 into. I always like to always have some dry powder on the sidelines in case some new opportunities come up, right, that I can jump into. I do believe it is a smart move to keep between, around 10% to 20% of your portfolio liquid. And the nice part about this, if you don't use crappy brokers like Robinhood, they're going to be paying you interest on all of this money that you have locked up, your full 10 grand, while you're waiting to maybe buy these stocks on the expiration dates, right? You would actually be collecting interest on your collateral, which at the time of recording this is an extra 4% a year. But we could see with our 10K portfolio, we generated right here about $239, and our money is working for us. So if you want to learn more about this strategy, I have a 90-minute workshop I want to invite you to. It's the first link down below. And at the end of that training, I also give you my 2 premium calculators completely free of charge, as well as my full trade log template that you can walk away with and actually start using. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.